Hello everyone. I will tell you about the technology used in disaster management and disaster risk reduction. India has been traditionally vulnerable to natural disaster on account of its unique geo-climatic conditions. Floods, droughts, cyclones, earthquakes, and landslides have been a recurrent phenomena, despite the fact that we cannot even prevent the earthquake on a typhoon from occurring or volcano from erupting. We can apply the scientific knowledge and technical knowledge to disaster risk reduction. Supervision of disaster risk reduction and scientific knowledge and technological knowledge disaster events is heavily dependent on scientific knowledge and evidence. Best technique coping with a hazard, whether natural or attribute to human activity, is one of the greatest challenges we have faced in our recent decades. Therefore, we are using now new technologies and new upcoming techniques to reduce a disaster or to overcome it. The second of them is the role of technology in disaster can be predictable in such a way that it minimizes the hazard and it helps in prediction of vulnerability progress in the science and technology of natural hazards and related coping mechanism. Okay, so the next one is that the scientific and technological disciplines which are involved include basic and engineering sciences, natural and social and human sciences. About 60% of the land mass is prone to earthquake of the various intensities. Over 40 million hectares is prone or to floods. About 8% of the total area is prone to cyclones and other natural disaster, and 68% of the area is susceptible to drought. In decade in 1990 to 2000, an average of about 4,344 people lost about 68% of the area their lives, and about 30 million people were injured and has been promoted to other areas by disaster managers. And it was the background that the United Nations General human toll and economic losses have mounted it as the it was in the background that the United Nations General Assembly in 1989 declared that the decade 1990 to 2000 as International Decade to the Natural Disaster Risk Reduction, with the objective to reduce the loss of lives and the property and restrict to socio-economic damage through concerned international action, especially in developing countries. Over the last 3 decades, scientific knowledge of the international action, especially the intensity and the distribution in the time. Okay, so now we will talk about more on this topic. The technology is basically used in many countries such as USA, UK, and other countries which have been faced disaster in very long time, like Japan, etc. Okay, so types of technologies in disaster risk reduction. So we will talk about the types of technologies in the next video.